We are, I believe, are we live? Yes, we are live from Indianapolis, Indiana, capital of racing, which happened last week, and thank goodness it wasn't a Penske that won. Good for them that they lost. I'm so glad that Alex Palau won. It was definitely a deserved win. That was a fun one. All right, I hope everybody's doing well. Hello, everyone. Wow. Okay. Welcome to Sunday. Saturday. I'm losing track of time here. Oh, man, what's going on? Okay. Are we doing good here? Is this working? Okay, good. All righty. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome aboard. It is your host, founder, and live on this wild ride, Demetrius Villa. Hope you're all having a great time out there. We're going to have a good little stream. By the way, 9 o'clock, hard stop. So we'll make sure that we get through this quickly. So I got some articles, and then we'll go ahead and talk about them and go from there. So I know everybody's going to be having a good time over here. So why don't we go ahead and get on started. Here we go. All righty. So New Jersey Transit. First look at their multi-level 3MU testing at the Transportation Technology Center in Pueblo, Colorado. We've seen a whole bunch of trains over here testing over in this facility over in Pueblo, from everything from the Avalia Liberty to Brightline, everything else. So it's good. Look at that. New trains finally coming to New Jersey. Like they definitely need it. It's a milestone delivery of the next generation of the agency's rail fleet that still looks like the last generation rail fleet. But hey, it's Jersey. It's what we can expect. So glad Jersey's doing something here. All righty. Speaking of silly things happening up in the Northeast, Amtrak bilked out of $12 million by at least 119 employees. Doctors in fraud scheme, many still report on the job. I think this song is pretty much very apropos for this. Okay. And Amtrak here. What's going on? What is going on? Hello, the Holy Donut. There we are. That's the first. I don't know what's going on over YouTube world, but anyway, Saturday streams. I hope you guys are enjoying this. We haven't done a Saturday stream in quite a while. What is the music? If you guys seen The Sopranos, come on. Did you wake up this morning? I did. Anyway, yeah, but let's look at this because this is hilarious. So 5 Amtrak employees plead guilty in healthcare fraud scheme. So this is speaking of New Jersey, several Amtrak employees here. Let's put on the music again since you guys asked. Here we go. There we go. Several Amtrak employees recently admitted to participating in a healthcare fraud scheme to defraud the rail company in New Jersey. U.S. Attorney Alina Haba announced on May 28th. Haba said each defendant received thousands of dollars in cash kickbacks from healthcare providers in return for their participation in the scheme, which led Amtrak's healthcare plan to pay over $11 million in fraudulent claims. Oh, man. So 5 Amtrak employees. Kevin Frink, 53. Mike Full, 35. So you got a good mix of people over here. 37, 41, 65. Well, on retirement age, and you messed up, buddy. Messed up. Wow, 65. Well, there's a retirement home that you are going to. It's going to have 3 meals a day. You'll have 4 walls. The paint will be, don't worry, you won't have to pay for any sort of renovations or anything like that. But, ciao. Stupid. How stupid. It's just sad, but, you know, oh well. At least there are some consequences in life, guys. There finally are some consequences over here. And Amtrak, we know that has, 89% of Amtrak is unionized and whatever. And look, for all of Amtrak that we support them all and everything, it has a lot of faults. Mainly this being one of them. And this isn't the first time something silly has happened just in recent memory for rail in the United States. Happened in MTA that somebody was basically job stealing hours on the job, like hiding in. They had like their own little section in an MTA station where they were basically playing, I don't know, Xbox or PS4 or something like that in there, like a little station. And I can find that if you guys want to talk about that. But anyway, let me keep on moving in here. So yeah, and totally. Inspector General said Amtrak's healthcare plan was billed more than $16 million and paid out more than $12 million during the scheme. Yeah, these sorts of insurance schemes are just what's going to be happening more and more as people become more desperate and desperate, which, hey, it's what it is. At least Amtrak is getting a bone thrown at them from the administration. So let's talk about that. And this is pretty good for the Trump administration, what they're doing with Amtrak. Let me see if you guys can be able to see this. If I can move the... let's see here and make sure you guys can see this correctly. There we go. All right, let me go ahead and play this.
We're here at Penn Station. We're talking about a rebuild of Penn Station. This project should have been done 20 years ago, hasn't. Donald Trump cares about it. So what did we do? We brought in Andy, the train Danny, to help us actually manage this project and bring it forward. Andy?
Well, that's all. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And it is truly a government opportunity because you just look around this station. There's 600,000 people a day use this facility. But look at it. It's terrible. This is not worthy of the city of New York. It's not worthy of the U.S. We have a golden opportunity under your leadership and the President's company to transform this place and to make something truly iconic at New York.
That's a great point. This is not worthy of America, so let's build a beautiful Penn Station that will serve America and New York for 150 years to come. That's why we're all going to work together to make this project happen.
All right, fantastic. This is probably the best thing that has come out of the Trump administration so far. Thank you, Secretary Sean Duffy. I'm going to give you a thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There we are. There we go. Let's give him actually, a round of applause over here for this, because this is a good thing. This is finally. There we go. Something good out of the Trump administration. Our money being spent on some sort of terrible genocide or some war out in the middle of nowhere that we shouldn't be in, or something that shouldn't be spent. Let's help our own people. Let's make some beautiful things here in this country, and we can. This is what we need to do. Build it, yes. And I love the attitude that's going on. By the way, Yimby Land over on X, Twitter, formerly Twitter, now X. Guys can follow him. Yeah, definitely. If we can rebuild was once the beautiful Penn Station. And then somebody said, make it realistic and add a ton of branding from companies. This is funny. That's unfortunately what may look like now. No, let's ban that. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. But this is, if we can rebuild the old Penn Station to its former glory. And I'm sorry, Knicks, you're not going to get in. You're not going to the fine. Hopefully, if the Pacers can figure out their stuff, but whatever. I don't know. Maybe the fix is in. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway. Going to America's second city over here, Illinois. Last-minute bill would restructure Chicago area transit but not address funding crisis, which we've talked about before when it comes to Chicago and the CTA. It has to do more about a spending crisis because they spend a hell of a lot more in nothing to actually do with running the service and more with human resources. They're spending over, if you remember correctly, it's definitely more than half. It's like 54 to about 60% of their entire budget is not on actually running the operation of everything. It's a whole bunch of overpaid people that are not actually have anything to do with. Then there's a good portion of them that actually are train operators and whatever. Again, it has to do with whatever silly accounting that the CTA is doing. But yeah, here we go. Illinois lawmakers have introduced a bill to restructure Chicago area transit agencies, but the bill does not address the $770 million shortfall. That could lead to significant cuts in service. Well, I'm pretty sure there's a couple $1 billion that we have going overseas that maybe can be seized and brought back over to building this country. Hopefully, Trump administration or Secretary Sean Duffy, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Let us see. But here we go. The new legislation will restructure the RTA, or Regional Transportation Authority, which oversees Metro, the Chicago Transit Authority, and Pace bus service into the Northern Illinois Transit Agency. So there we go. It's going to be all bundled up together, I guess. That agency with the restructured board of directors would set budgets and fares for all three transit operations, which those agencies currently address separately. Among a long list of positions is one that lowers a current requirement that 50% of operating revenue comes from fare box recovery, significantly higher than most agencies to 25%, which could ease pressure to raise fares or only operate the highest volume routes. I don't know. Let's see. I mean, this is pretty crazy. I love the comments over here. This photo shows a rusty weed-grown track to the right, if memory is correct. That's the old Pensy line that ran through. I mean, it's just funny. Yeah, if the state of Illinois takes money from revenue brackets, downstate taxpayers to prop up RTA, look for a voter rebellion. Yeah, look, it's what it is. It's Chicago. This proposed agency is a means for Chicago to steal Metro's money, but it doesn't matter because there is no money. So it seems most people aren't on board with this. Some of it calling a Ponzi scheme, which is basically what the United States in itself right now in the 21st century is basically a giant Ponzi scheme. I mean, everything when it comes to the Federal Reserve, the loan structures that we have in this country, and everything that's going on is basically a giant scheme in this economy. And that's why things are starting to the economy is not going to be doing well in the look, it wasn't going to happen. Didn't matter who was voted back in November. Now, whether this is going to be a soft landing or a hard crash, who knows? But it's affecting places and things in Florida, like, for example, Brightline's Florida bonds. Investors so far phased by the downgrade to junk bonds. And I can't really get the rest of this over here. But anyway, bond agencies deliver cautionary note on Brightline finances. So this is something that came out this week, which I figured, look, everything is going down. This has probably less to do with Brightline and more to do with the rest of the world just freaking out about the economy. I mean, it's Japan to consider trimming super long bond issuance, sources say. Again, this is all connected. It's not just about the infrastructure and building train, but also the economics and broad macroeconomics going on in the world and the global economy that we are in. Unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to see it, but that's just what it is. But going through this, here you are. South Florida Sun Sentinel reports in a paywalled article that Fitch Group, I'm glad they said it's a paywalled article and just gave us everything over here, downgraded more than $4 billion in bonds this month after another agency, S&P Global, did the same for more than $1.1 billion. In each case, the agencies include a negative outlook or negative watch notations concerned about the rail operator's ability to generate cash to service its debt. But funny enough, in the same article, financial developments come as Brightline continues to report monthly gains in revenue and ridership. After losing nearly $550 million in 2024, April ridership 243,285, up 9% over the same month a year ago. Long-haul trips increasing by 20%. That's massive. And that's going to be that's their biggest cash cow is Miami to Orlando. To do the whole actual Miami to Orlando. Okay, that's their biggest cash cow right there. Short-haul trips in Florida declined by 3%. That's not a big deal. That's probably seasonal also. Overall revenue in April was up by 15% over the same month in 2024. Remember, they opened this up last year, so things are looking up. And the company has been addressing capacity issues by adding cars to its trains and is acquiring new coaches to further lengthen its consists. It has also made moves such as launching a rider rewards program. Again, this has less to do with a negative outlook on Brightline because you go through this looks like a positive outlook on Brightline. Yeah, so they have debt. They built a massive project. We aren't building massive projects here in the United States, which we will talk about. Europe built trains, America built highways, and regret. So that will be talked about. But again, this is the bond downgrades. This is happening all over the place. Look, the country, the United States of America has had its credit downgraded. So yeah, it's just what it is. Again, this is just going on. Futures drop after Trump says China violated agreement on tariffs. So yeah, it's the economy. It's the economy, stupid. It's just what it is. I know you guys. Somebody's live streaming on their end. We will get to you. Don't worry. We'll get there. We will get there. All right. Here you are. 1 week left to share thoughts on potential Brightline station. Speaking of, talking more about Brightline over here. Yeah. Now they're expanding into Tampa. They're asking for a brief survey, which is probably already over from TPO, but basically asking about where it should be located, what people think about it, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, look. Also, the survey's asking improvements to be made to help access to potential stations. People ask more sidewalks, shorter term parking, all that sort of stuff. I won't have to do any. People want this. Look at this. I won't have to do anything but sit back and relax. That's what people want. People want the train, so it's happening. Speaking of silly things happening, I told you so. I said he was going to be gone by summer, and it's technically is summer, and he's gone. This is why I said everybody's just freaking out about him, going all over the place. And yeah, I told you he was going to autistically spurg out within the White House, do much about nothing, and then go out. Look, I like the whole Doge notion, but we said the reality of this is the government is not going to get fixed. The federal government is not going to be a place of interest to really start fixing everything here in this country. I mean, look, this is at least a good example that if they could do something, this is something they're at least doing. They are giving more to Amtrak to go ahead and be in charge of this program, so they'll probably just go and give a grant out to Amtrak. Go ahead and build this out, and good. Let Amtrak just build it. That's honestly, at this point, the federal government is basically a big giant piggy bank. That's what it is. It's a big giant free piggy bank that's going to bust at some point, and there won't be any more money being printed out of it at some point. When does it stop? Who knows? But that's just the reality of it, guys. But anyway, so things are still building. I'm going through this. It's 8:16 p.m. I'm getting through this real quick, guys. I'm speeding along. We are speeding through this. All right. So in California, if we're going from one side to the other over here, California's launched service to Windsor, California station. So there you go. There's more. Again, this is up in the Bay Area. Lake Spur all the way to Sonoma County Airport. And they want to do future stations over here to Cloverdale. This is what's running now. So Sonoma County Airport over to Cloverdale. So there we go. Set to launch service on its northern extension to Windsor on Saturday. There we go. Received final clearance from the Federal Railroad Administration to begin operation on Thursday. The Business Journal reports that SMART believes the new station could add 400 to 500 riders daily, which would put it among the top 4 stations on the 14-station, 46-mile system. So there we go. Good thing. And looks like the comments here. This is why I like reading the comments. I just like getting the general perception from the public of how they feel about this. It seems this is it's nice, but maybe it could be better. But this is a good thing to happen. So there we go. All right. Speaking of things building, finally over in Asheville, North Carolina, the railway connecting over there to Tennessee has finally reopened after the destruction of Helene. So there we go. Finally, some rebuilding is happening faster than California. So there you go. I don't know. Maybe California needs a hurricane or something. I don't know. They'll make probably things worse. Let's be honest. They'll probably make it worse. Workers replaced or rebuilt more than 13 miles of track between Asheville and Newport. However, track connecting Asheville to other parts of North Carolina remained a work in progress, the company said. Crews used over 160,000 tons of material and cleared over 2,000 trees to build the new tracks. So there you go. Most of those trees were probably downed.
8 months since Helene devastated western North Carolina, with
Where's that coming from?
River Arts District among the hardest hit areas.
There we go. Okay, I don't know why that started playing, but there you go. Restoring freight rail service to Asheville is a positive step toward getting Western North Carolina back on its feet and reconnected economically. Governor Josh Stein said this development would help business regain their livelihoods and strengthen our supply chain so that Western North Carolina can build back stronger. So there we go. Some good news. Some good news. Here we go. And we do need to build, not just rebuild. We have to rebuild our entire country at this point. Like I said, our infrastructure isn't crumbling, it's crumbled. Okay, we drive through it every day. We see it every day. We look at it on the tracks, in the airports. Our infrastructure is crumbled. Okay, this is the reality in America. This is, and I'm glad that they're showing this. This is our biggest station here, our busiest station. Look at this. It looks like some war happened over here. This looks like Operation Metro from Battlefield 3. Look at this. not worthy of New York City. It's just terrible. I mean, among the other stuff and videos that we've seen of Penn Station, yeah, there you go. Ceilings busted, leaks and water coming through, rats dropping from the ceiling. And it just goes to that old quote again, what used to be said about the old Penn Station. One used to enter into New York City like a god, and now they enter in like a rat. Running through all these catacombs here of the travesty that is the new Penn Station. Hopefully, it is destroyed, sent back to the dustbin of history. That should be never again, and rebuild the glory of what was the old Penn Station. At least we have across the street, we do have the station over there, which was the old post office, now converted into a station. So there's at least that. That's our consolation prize. But yeah, we need more than a consolation prize here in America. We need more than that. America deserves better. Okay, so here's an article that came out this week, or not this week, but this month. This month has been crazy, guys. I mean, this month, honestly, to me, has felt like a whole year. I mean, I've gotten married, wonderful, beautiful wife, got our honeymoon, got back here, started working in the new position and everything. I mean, it's been wild. It's been a very crazy month. But of course, the 500, it's been good. Honestly, it's you got to count your blessings here and there. Sometimes take a step back and just reassess and say, hey, things are good. Let's thank God, take a breather, and just take things step by step. And we have to apply that when it comes to our country. So yeah, maybe we're in a bad position now. And I know a couple years ago I was in a very bad spot, but you have to take things step by step, and you'll get there. Get back to it. And that's what we have to do. We have to be taking consistent steps to fix our country. It's not going to be fixed overnight, guys. We've known this. I've talked about this before. It's not being fixed overnight. But anyway, let's go through this article real quick. How civilized to catch a train, enjoy your meal on board, and then go to bed in a cozy cabin while the moonlit world zips past. Recently, I've boarded sleeper trains in Brussels and disembarked in Vienna. Bid gute Nacht to Munich and buongiorno to Venice. Closer to home, the Caledonia sleeper shrinks the 400-mile journey between London and Edinburgh to just 40 winks, with supper, a nightcap, and breakfast en route. Such journeys are possible on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean, but the future and fate of night trains in Europe and the United States are set on very different tracks. 2025, Europe's sleeper train network has been enjoying a renaissance, revitalized in the age of flygskam, freaking Swedish word. By the way, I did go to IKEA yesterday and got some koffer rep. I guess that's what you call them. Apparently, they call a grill. Because they literally had a grill on sale. Grill Scar. I'm not kidding. It's just the word grill and Scar. S-K-A-R with the little circle or whatever, a halo on top, whatever, however they pronounce that. It's just a silly version of English. Sorry to all the Swedes out there, which at this point, I don't know if the Swedish language is going to exist at this point, knowing what's happening in Sweden. But anyway, in Europe in general. But regardless, as Europe embraces the night train, the United States seems to be sleepwalking into a transport dead end, slashing funding for public infrastructure and firing transit workers. Long-distance public transport in America may be heading inexorably toward a binary choice, fast, exclusive, and environmentally ruinous, or slow, torturous, and run down. And the article goes into here talking about, again, what we can do. Elon Musk, here we are, America's anointed tech guru in chief. Not anymore, but anyway, I'm pretty sure he's going to have still a voice in the administration, not officially, but not that he really had an official voice, but I mean, he'll still be probably around. Is on record enthusing about China's impressive bullet train network while disparaging America's railways as a national embarrassment. This is ironic, coming from the man who's now shelved Hyperloop. Thank goodness. I think we did a good job in killing that, guys. I honestly, I think I wouldn't say that we killed the Hyperloop. The Hyperloop was taking itself down, but we really started putting a good nail in the coffin among other guys like Thunderfoot on YouTube and other people. And then once that came out, it's at this point it's just not happening. It's so stupid. Anyway, a theoretical high-speed transport system beguiled and distracted a lot of potential investment. This is what I said. That's what I said what it did. Beguiled and distracted. It was a red herring. A lot of potential investment from tried and tested transit systems across the United States. The secrets to China's fantastically successful matrix of high-speed railways are clear. Consistency of vision, courage of conviction, a successful nationwide rollout, crucially, adequate funding, which means owning your own bank, owning yourself money, and telling anybody who's going to call on it, it's like, yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Look, this is what's going to happen when China, when you go to ask for like, excuse me, we need to call on China's debt. You know what China's going to do? They're just going to be like, yeah, sure, okay, come here. Come here, Lao Wai. Come here. There you go. Come here, Lao Wai. There you go. Yeah, if you want silver from China, they're going to give you lead. So maybe we need to start doing the same thing over here. I don't know. What do you think? The only transit system Mr. Musk has built successfully is a series of tunnels. Oh, these silly little tunnels beneath Las Vegas through which his Tesla vehicles loop, much like an underground rail service, only at present much less efficiently. Oh man, I think we need to have a whole episode on that thing. It's just hilarious. Oh man, excuse me. There's the current drive to revive supersonic passenger jets. Boom, supersonic. We've talked about these guys before. This is cool. I'm super much a fan of supersonic flight. We need that back. It needs to be happening. We need supersonic flight, super Shinkansens, just super stuff in general. Let's make this Super America and Super Earth. Maybe I need a Helldivers theme for that. That'll be funny. Anyway, so here we go. Yeah, in Europe, trains are the old new answer. Old world comfort, married to faster rolling stock. The drive between London and Berlin, for example, is about 12 hours. The fastest trains get you there in just under 9 hours. Contrast that with the 13-hour drive between New York and Chicago. A trip that takes roughly 20 hours by train, and it shouldn't be taking 20 hours by train. What the hell? Oh my God. 20 hours. This country needs help. Our system has fallen. It's time to build. It's time to build. And look, if you look through the comments, and I can't because this is a archived article. Most of everybody is, again, this is less to do with a left versus right thing, and it's unfortunately it's a generational thing. It's going to change, and we'll talk about that because look, this whole silly notion that we just have to be just building a car-centric country is falling. Okay, let's be honest. America's infrastructure, particularly its road system, was built for a capacity of probably max capacity in the mid 1970s of about maybe 200 million people. This is a country of 350 million people now, and probably there's 50 million people that shouldn't be here in this country at all. They shouldn't be here. Anyway, it's just the reality. So that's one solution, but the other solution, the big solution, is there needs to be less drivers. That kind of goes into the first solution, but there needs to be less people driving because this is what you have. It's called induced demand, because the more lanes you build, the more cars you invite onto the road. And it doesn't fix the main solution, is that we need less cars and a different way for people to get around. Just rethinking how we build our cities. Okay, the current way that we've rebuilt our cities is not working. Suburbanization in America is really destroying a lot of not only our traditional older cities in general, but the sprawl, what it's doing, the strain on the sewage systems, on the electrical grid, on a whole bunch of stuff. And it's putting into debt a lot of counties, a lot of cities. And you can go into talking about strong towns and all that sort of stuff. And again, great people, good stuff. Looking at that, and we should be talking more about that as well. Maybe later on, we'll have maybe an episode or something in that. But anyway, here's something funny. We're almost at the end, guys. I got two. No, yeah, well, including this one, three more tabs. But yeah, this is what has happened to my beautiful state of Florida. This is the problem that we're seeing. You guys can say exactly what's going on. Hopefully, with the economic downturn, this begins to stop. But you have a solution too. I'll tell you that. Look at this. And look at how the houses are built. Look at this. It's twigs. Twigs. It's not flint and steel. It's twigs and plaques. There you are. Unbelievable. And the environmental strain it does on Florida, because here's the thing. I was talking with my wife about this, and how, when I was in Florida, I mean, I in a sense, I kind of took the Everglades for granted, but I did a whole class on the Florida ecosystem, and it's stuff I already learned about. But I mean, again, you don't have to be left wing or right wing to be very environmentally conscious. In fact, a lot of now like real extreme right wingers now, in this day and age, especially in Gen Z and millennials, are super environmentally conscious. But yeah, look, this is the type of thing that needs to be fixing Florida. And look, a lot less of this would happen if Floridians lived in places like this. And this is just beautiful places that we have over here. That's Miami Beach. Okay, most Art Deco buildings in the entire planet, right there. Again, they're small, quaint, but beautiful. It's probably where my love of Art Deco comes from. Is just going to Miami Beach every other weekend. I believe this is St. Augustine. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, look, this type of towns, this would be good if we can have this sort of stuff. And I believe this is Rosemary Beach, or there's places like this in Florida that can be just people centric, because people live in towns, not cars. That's what we need. But if you want more stuff like this, if you want to destroy suburbia, there is a way. There is a way. Here you go. So here's the way you can do this. Retirees upset that ICE raided a construction site in Florida because the house he's buying will now experience a delay in construction. Let's let this play here. This is funny. Here we go.
Construction of our home is in jeopardy because the labor situation is completely unknown.
Andy Adamick is supposed to move into his new...
The Villages. The Villages, Florida's friendliest hometown. Okay, boomer. Anyway, look, now is retirees upset. Construction site in Florida delay. Well, there you go. What's the so just in case, and it'd be pretty terrible if people just started going past construction areas and just started calling ICE. That'd be terrible, wouldn't it, guys? It'd be really terrible if that started happening, wouldn't it? Just real sad if people just started en masse just calling ICE on every single suburban construction zone. Oh man, just would be terrible. Just real. Yeah. Anyway, and then look at this. Again, this has less to do with left-right paradigm over here. Now, again, I don't know why I have to keep giving this disclaimer for the boomers that do watch us. Okay, you guys are good. You're watching us. That's a good thing. If you're watching the American Rail Club and you're a boomer, you're good. You don't have to worry about any sort of thing. It's the rest of your your group that's got issues. Look at this. Again, they're just saying the same sort of stuff. I want my house. Those of you that are 100% against any kind of immigration have never run into labor-intensive company, and it shows. They need the labor. They need it. Okay, boomer. It's just no. If maybe, just a novel thought. Maybe if you paid giving jobs to millennials, because it's not like millennials and Zoomers don't want to work. We would definitely work, and I've worked hard jobs. It's just a matter of not wanting. These companies don't want to pay actual living or family wages. They want slave labor that comes over from across the border. They pay them $5 in cash under the table, and then they go ahead and take your resources and everything. And this is what happens to your cities because more and more people keep coming here. A lot of this does come down to immigration, by the way, and we've talked about this before. And I'm not at all. I'm not backing down on this issue. I'm not backing down on this issue at all. And here we go. Look at this. Look, I'm a Republican. I agree that all do. Those guys are helping our community out. They're doing jobs that we don't want to do. I hate that. I hate this line right here. They're doing jobs that we don't want to do at this time. So they should be given a green light and a pass. At least they're contributing to construction within our nation. MAGA 100.
Is supposed to move into his new home in July, and he likes the guys who are working on it. He doesn't know what their immigration statuses are, but they were not there when he checked on the house Tuesday.
Because these guys provide a valuable labor force.
Maybe pay and train millennials to do. They will want to work. Maybe if you pay younger men that live here in this country, born and raised here, that want to work, maybe you have people building homes. And wait a second, building homes for those people to live in. Building starter homes in cities, in communities, so we can rebuild our cities to make them look something beautiful, like this, or like this, or like this. Instead, we have this mentality here, this born to be wild. Yes. Again, disclaimer, not all of them, but oh man. Oh man, and that's the worst thing. The worst thing is that it's not the people who are coming over. Look, they're gonna go to wherever the carrot is. They're gonna go to wherever the jobs are because people are people. The worst ones, not the people coming over. Okay, and I've said this multiple times. Not the people coming over. The worst thing is a traitor. This piece of crap right here. That's what he needs. Go to your own community. Go hire your own people. Go build homes for them. Flipping. Just infuriating, man. Alrighty, last thing. AI's gotten scary good. Really scary good. I mean, look at this stuff I started playing with Google VO that came out about last week or whatever, version 3.0. This has been the biggest thing for me. I'm trying to figure out some good stuff to do for this Brightline Vegas to LA video. I'm talking about Brightline West. But this is the type of stuff that I'm envisioning. And it's about, I would say, 95% there. I mean, look at this. This is pretty close to what I kind of envision is like an actual moving, instead of the very silly, and I don't want to show it because it's kind of laughable, what Brightline provided as like the 3D proof of concept was very, like, it looked like a 2008 something that you'd see. It was bad. But, I mean, this is, some of it is goofy, and there was one really goofy one. This one's kind of okay, but, that'd be cool. Just see it just zooming past traffic. This is some cool stuff. And like some things I've envisioned, like having like a seeing the sunset, having a road runner just like going through, and then just all of a sudden seeing the train. That's some pretty cool stuff. I mean, this is a. I mean, you would believe that it's not okay. It's like you think, okay, this is not it's not real. But it's getting to the point you think, okay, somebody built this in a 3D animation. Okay, that's goofy. This whole thing here, that's goofy. How slow that's going, and like kind of the lettering and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, all right, guys, I've talked enough. I wasn't even thinking I was going to be talking that much. But anyway, let's bring you guys on board. I'm done talking. Yes, it's hard to believe, but I am done talking. Okay, and it's hard to believe that I don't like hearing myself talk half the time. So anyway, all right, let's bring everybody on board. Everybody, come on, here we go. Let the chaos begin. There we go.
About time, my live collapsed, or like my live stream got corrupted, and I had to do it all over again.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
That sucks.
I hate it when that happens.
But I'm afraid that I got some crazy stuff to talk about. Do you remember when we were talking about the North Star up there in Minneapolis, or not Minneapolis, but Minnesota?
Yeah.
I was right. I called it out. After they went after that and got that shut down, got what they're going after now. The light rail system.
Oh man. Oh wait, Adam everywhere.
Well,
I hope they don't
They-
get far on that.
All right. By the way,
I hope
real
we
quick,
get-
real quick, guys, before we get into everything, I don't want to forget about the chat over here. Let's get some cool comments over here. The problem with economic issues is A2R Gaming. We have known about them for decades. It's simply coming due regardless of the government in charge. Yep, that's what I'm saying. It's just a matter of time. That's what it is.
Overdue for a correction.
We are.
Way overdue.
overdue for connecting. But
Yeah,
Dimitri,
and then
I did send
David
the article-
Jackson, who is a boomer, said it's definitely a-okay to bag on boomers, no worries. And people are asking for trade schools, vocational training. They should bring back trade classes in high school, trade classes in high school. Yeah, there's some high schools around here in Indianapolis and in Indiana in general that have trades. It's not that. It's making sure that the main system in the United States, it's not going from school to more schooling to debt. It's from going
and they
from
don't even
schooling
have to go to
preparation.
school to work in those industries.
Yeah.
They really don't. All you gotta do is know how to build a house, and they'll teach you.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Everybody, how you doing?
A good company will teach you all that stuff.
And a lot of the trade school things, a lot of the companies offer apprenticeships, which is equivalent to many of the trade schools, except it's more specific to what that company needs instead of the generalized training that trade schools give.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Lincoln Tech.
Well, they'll
They have,
even
like,
still,
welding
they'll
and all
still
that.
get trained on everything. Because most time, if a company is into that, they're just gonna send them that school so they can learn as much as they can.
Yeah, and
They can
most
do a
trade
lot
schools
more than what
are
they want them to do.
usually a few months to 2 years at most.
Yeah, you're right. But can I
yeah.
can I speak? Can I speak?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I
Floor's yours.
sent the article what I was talking about in Minnesota about the light rail. Like here's the article I sent, and I called the before it even happened. I literally called it saying, "Hey, after they went after the North Star, they were going to go after the light rail system." I called it a month before it even happened. And saying it, I was talking from someone from Minnesota who worked for the government. He down here on vacation. I would talk to him about it, saying, "Hey, what did the people up there?" And he told me everything. Turns out, and they're gonna get y'all very angry, is that the money that would both be going to the North Star will actually vote to help the commuter rail to expand to St. Paul. Plus, it will also help to move the station into the main area where Amtrak come into. It will both to help move them, but because the person who run Minnesota have, investment into 3 big automakers there, the road that are going from, I can't remember what name of the road was, but it was going from St. Paul to Minneapolis. They found out that the 3 car automaker, they have planned on that roadway to build about 52 different car dealerships.
No, hey.
And saying it, they did not want the money going to the commuter rail, that they screwed over the commuter rail, forced it to shut down, and that money is now going over to the automakers now.
It sounds like conflict of interest.
Yeah, it's definitely. That's to say conflict of interest. Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to talk.
It
something.
really does.
Okay, it pisses me off. Okay, the car dealerships wants to screw over the transit authority in Minnesota so they could screw all of us, the Americans, over on transit. That's what's going on.
And most of these dealerships are scams anyway. Or they try to rip you off.
Exactly. So, by the way, I'm pissed off. I just want to punch a wall right now. Jeez.
Hey, you know what? I bet you I know what road is gonna be.
Time to bring the bad out. The bad out.
It's gonna be Interstate 35. We're gonna build them right by Interstate 35.
All right,
wherever they can find room. So then when you're traveling on I-35, you're gonna see big car factories.
You know what? I just
one more
tear
lane,
down
bro.
the car
One more
factories.
lane, bro.
Look, I don't mind the car factories, but shoot, I mean, we need to start, actually building some other sorts of infrastructure. And the problem with here's the thing. Like I said, the whole economic downturn that's going on, the auto industry. Look, I'm not at all worried about it. The auto industry is coming to a reckoning as well. They can't hide it anymore. Chrysler or whatever, Stellantis is probably going to be dead within 5 years. They're over encumbered. They're over much in debt. The cars don't sell. There's cars that are staying there for 2 years, over 2 years on the lot.
They're
Nobody's buying
rotting
them.
on the lot.
Yeah, lot rot. They're overpriced. You know, the only people that are paying for a $58,000 basic crossover are the people who you think they are, and then they'll be paying $800 a month for a lease on top of everything else for the insurance and everything, and then they'll go into debt. And people are starting to catch on, wait a second, this sucks. And not only that, the cars are starting to suck because half of them aren't even made in the United States anymore, unless you buy like a Honda or Toyota, funny enough. You have to buy a Japanese car to get American-made vehicles. But then on top of that, the cars are over expensive. They overplayed their hand during COVID. It had less to do with the chip shortage or anything like that, and more to do with the greed. They saw blood in the water. They ducked it in, and now there's nothing to be had, and they've dug themselves a hole. Oh, well.
And the worst part,
And that's why
about
they
it is
oppose direct to consumer like Tesla's model, where they sell cars directly to the consumer.
Yeah.
And Dimitri, I'm gonna bring this up and did a thing like when the guy who was from Minnesota confirmed it with me that money was being taken from the North Star, even when it was still in service, and given to their competition and was actually tax free, like you talked about back in the 50s. That when we knew that there was something sinister behind it, you know.
Yeah. Like it's sad and it's terrible, but yeah, no, it's used for the auto industry. You want to survive, pivot to making mass transit, whether it's buses, trains, whatever. Which, funny enough, General Motors used to make trains. So
EMD.
Yeah. Go back to what worked. You want to save yourself, that's what you do. Oh, and make actual cars that are, affordable, not crossovers that break in 2 months. So my mother-in-law had a Ford Escape that they bought and everything back in 2019. That auto start-stop function on the Fords, turn it off, because especially with any sort of automatic transmission, sometimes it will lock it up when it starts back again. And that's going to be, oh man. Yeah.
Speaking of that, there's regulations to get rid of that now.
Thank goodness.
All of the other crap.
Yeah, that's probably the second best thing the Trump administration has done.
One thing I got to
Take
also
standards
say
back to 2007 before MDS and all this crap.
Oh, speaking of that, Dimitri, I got some real good news. Is that they are almost done with the training on the Avail Liberties. The training will be done next week.
Hey,
we're almost there.
We'll see about that, because I've been paying attention to the test runs.
Let's see.
One thing I just want to say on
I am in the Northeast after all.
What the dealership also did was that they built way too many of them. Way too many.
Yeah.
It was like almost one every block.
Like here in my city of Charleston, South Carolina, when you go to the area of West Ashley, follow along Highway 17, and start counting for around 4.8 miles, you would already have 36 car dealerships in 4.8 miles.
Yeah, there's going to be and in 10 years you're probably going to just see maybe 5 dealerships, and those are going to be the biggest ones. That's just what it's going to be.
Dealerships, the independent dealerships, will shut down eventually.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna investigate about how many car dealerships are in the United States.
There's a lot.
There's a few big.
There's a lot, and half of them don't even get enough cars. There is one down the road from where I live. It is pretty much just used cars. A Toyota dealership with just used cars, very few new cars.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Maybe because they lost their new car allocation because they probably did some scumbag activities that caused Toyota to yank their new car allocation.
Yeah, so this is kind of what you see in most American cities. For those of you who are overseas or not too familiar, this is the type of stuff that you see in America. There'll be like different places in the city. Just to say, this is Indianapolis, Indiana, crossroads of America. But here you go. You'll have a whole entire basically a mile of just Okay, Eastgate Chrysler, Ed Martin Honda, Ed Martin Nissan. And again, it doesn't matter what. They can sell even competitor cars. It's just how the dealership model works. And then it's just more and more dealerships. Oak Motors, Drive Time Used Vehicles, Kidwell Automotive, Ray Skillman, Northeast Kia. There you go. And it just keeps going on and on. Ray Skillman, Northeast Mazda.
Make a great radio voice.
That's what people have told me. Chevrolet Parts Center. There you go, Chevrolet. And here's the problem. And this was taken. Let me see. Imagery is probably 2025. But yeah, look at this. Just parking lots filled with cars. These are not selling. These are not going anywhere. And you'll see this. There's other parts of the city that have this. And again, you can apply this to any city. Here's another one. Here you go. It just starts over here with all these roundabouts over here. Here's a Tom O'Brien Chrysler Jeep and Dodge. Here's a CarMax. Look at this. Look at all this car. By the way, don't ever, if you're going to buy a car, don't buy it from CarMax. Please don't. Don't ever buy anything from CarMax. Please. Please. Look at this.
Look at this. Women law lawsuit waiting to happen.
Oh, man.
How many? That's a lot, isn't it?
Okay, and you want to see the funniest one? Look at this. Tom O'Brien Chrysler Jeep and Dodge. This is going to be the next dead. Look at this. All these Chryslers, all these Stellantis vehicles just sitting here. Look at this. Here you go. There's a whole bunch of Challengers. By the way, they stopped production of the Challengers 2 years ago. Still here.
Hold on. You're telling me I can get a Challenger? Shoot, man, I'm going to go out to Minneapolis and get myself a Challenger.
There you go. There you go.
They got a lot of stuff
Look
from
at this.
22 and 23 still laying
Still
around.
there.
Someone wants a new Charger.
There you go. You want to go across? Go to Tomwood Volkswagen, Napleton Kia of Carmel, Napleton Italian Imports. So you can fix it again, Tony. There you go. Tomwood Nissan. That's going to be another. That's another manufacturer that's going to die. Penske Honda, Mercedes Benz. Ed Martin Acura. Hey, by the way, we are getting a Wawa here. By the way, I can't wait till that actually opens up. There we go. We do love some aspects of the car culture here in the United States, and Wawa can stay. We'll keep Wawas. We'll keep Buc-ee's.
Oh yeah, they're expanding Buc-ee's too. I think they're adding a few more this summer.
Yeah.
Dude,
They added a new one in Virginia.
There you are. You can go to Tom Wood Power Sports Indy, buy a motorcycle if they had any. So you can go ahead and crash and break your head somewhere. There you are. Tom Wood Porsche. This is probably if you want perfection, you buy a Porsche. Tom Wood Subaru, and there's a big giant Toyota over here. If you want perfection at a good price, get a Toyota or a Lexus. There you go. Tom Wood, Ford. There you go. Okay, so there you go. This is what you see in America.
Congratulations.
Oh, Volkswagen Group is looking to expand some production stateside. They might build.
Can I speak?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Floor's yours.
Go ahead.
My little sister, she used to work for CarMax.
Oh, no.
She got fired for telling people what they tried to get her to sell people bad cars. And
I'm not surprised.
Like literally, they fired her because she wouldn't sell people cars that were bad and not working properly. And thing is that some of these cars they're not even road safety. Some of them are a safety hazard. And she was not about to put people in dangerous cars that were broken up. And they just fired her over it.
Well, legally, you shouldn't even sell those cars.
So car dealerships rather have us to be in danger rather than having
not all dealerships, not all.
Not all.
CarMax and Carvana.
When you buy a car,
Carvana.
When you buy a car from CarMax,
It's car management.
when you buy a car from CarMax,
I think we should compare CarMax with Spirit Airlines. All right.
Yeah.
God.
There you go. That's a good one.
hey, you should when you buy a car from CarMax, just look for the Indian voice telling you can get an extended warranty.
Sir, would you like to have an extended warranty on your car?
If you break down and I see you on the side of the road, I'm not stopping because you failed to get that extended warranty.
Yeah, it's all it all comes down to that extended warranty. But yeah, let's move from the car dealership talk over here. Yeah, look, in 5 years, half of these are going to be gone, and by saying half, that's very exactly. That's very generous.
Legislation after funding cuts.
You talk about a couple of cars going to the crusher.
Oh yeah.
Look at the music put in. Look at the
Excuse
music.
me. Sorry, David.
Alrighty, what we got over here?
Currently, we have 31,000 dealerships in the United States alone in 2024.
Okay, here's some here's some cool AI guys. Amtrak and legislation. I'm sorry, Brightline. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I was saying that there are 31,000 dealerships in the U.S. alone last year in 2024. That's according to ChatGPT.
Oh yeah, that a lot.
You want to use that?
Ask it real quick. Given the economic disaster unfolding in America, what can we expect to see the amount of dealerships in 2030? It's probably going to give some BS answer, but I'm just curious. Let's see what happens. What does it say?
Okay, given the
Hello?
Yeah, something to that effect. It doesn't have to be exact. Given the economic just say economic disaster impending in the United States, what can we expect the decrease in car dealerships to be by 2030?
My guess it's probably going to be around 22,000.
15,000 to 16.
Oh, you're going half.
Yeah.
More than half.
Probably around between 10 to 9,000.
So what does ChatGPT say? Or is it still thinking? The thinking machine.
Right.
All right, YouTube chat. Put your answers in the chat.
Let's see. Let's see what it says. I'm curious to see. I'm gonna guess like a 30% decrease. Again, being generous.
Yeah, about 30 to 40% decrease.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, things have to change here in this country, and it's just a rebalancing of what actually works. I don't want to see the destruction of the car market in the United States. I want to see it flourish. I want to see good products again.
We would love for cars to get better.
Exactly.
After like the 1900s, they made cars where cars are going to break down more often. They used to last forever.
All right, let's hear the results.
All right. According to ChatGPT, industry experts anticipate a substantial reduction in traditional dealership locations by 2030. According to a KPMG survey, automotive executives believe that 30 to 50% of car dealerships could close by 2030.
Wow!
Hey, you know what?
Wow, we're on board, guys. We're on. We just. Wow.
Say it.
Hey, ARC, the more of those buildings that you show that get teared down, the more room you've got for housing.
There you go.
And
the more
turn them to starter homes.
For businesses.
Mow it down.
Mixed-use development. Yes.
You got even new development, new homes, new businesses.
Like more walkable.
Buy them. Someone buy that big old Chrysler and turn it to a Walmart.
There you go. Oh no! Please no! Not a Walmart. No! Please no!
Listen, we got too many stores.
I'm not gonna even. I have a bad Walmart story. I'm not gonna even share it. So no. I've had and David pretty much. I'm pretty sure he has terrible Walmart stories. So let's not torture David, please.
In my head was a Walmart.
You guys are such dicks.
I could be worse.
I can imagine. We can be worse. I can tell you let's turn it into a Hy-Vee, but
No.
You got enough.
But listen, under any
Let's just
circumstances,
stick with a mixed-use walkable community, not
Thank
another
you.
box store.
Thank you.
Please, no.
Guys, I've been working every day, and at the Walmart I work at, we literally in one day we had 10 people arrested for shoplifting.
Oh, that's a light day.
Yeah.
10.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, every
What
Walmart I
did
see,
they-
it doesn't
what-
matter where it is. They always have a police car in front of them. You don't see that in Meyer. Maybe
Not at
Kroger.
Walmart.
Maybe Kroger. Target.
Here's the thing
Less.
about
Every Walmart.
Before Walmart
Yeah,
had
you
a
always got
grocery,
sticky
it was
fingers.
literally the store that you'd go to find the most random shit in the world. Even with the grocery store section, you still have most random shit in the entire world with shitty people and a guy that walks up bare naked.
Oh man, the creatures of Walmart.
Oh, great.
After that, Walmart before
Documentary for you. You're just here. We see a button naked Walmart shopper.
Okay.
I thought we agreed not to talk about those kind of Walmart shops.
Yeah, let's not, guys. Let's not. Yeah, okay. No more Walmart stores. We're at exactly 9 o'clock. I think this is a good place to end it over here. I mean, this was a fun one, guys. We got this in exactly an hour. So
I'm
there
so
we are.
glad Train Daddy is back to redo Penn Station.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
too. Honestly, they should make that the new. They should make that the new Wall Street.
Yeah,
Not Wall
that's
Street.
that's the best bit of news here.
There we go. The new Times Square.
Yeah.
Billboards everywhere.
Look, and the nice thing about this is that here's the big shift and change that I'm seeing. Okay, Sean Duffy, a millennial, says, or millennial Jason. I guess he is. What, he was born 84, 82 is the cutoff, but he says he wants it for something to be for the next 150 years. Let's play that again.
Let's build a beautiful Penn
with
station.
a long-term plan, like
America and
long-term
New York for
profit.
100,
That's good.
150 years to come.
150 years to come. That's exactly, that is the mentality that we need. Not this. Wait. Not this one. Not this one.
Of our home is in jeopardy.
Not that one. It's time to go. It's time to go. Bye.
Also,
Bye.
employing American workers, not outsourcing slave labor. No,
Thank you.
Time to build that transatlantic high-speed line.
Yeah.
All righty, guys. I think that let's end it there. Let's end on a good note. Look, despite everything that's going to happen, like I said, step by step, this country is going to get fixed. We're going to get this done. It's coming to a reckoning. We're getting there, guys. So I think we'll end it over here. This is a good time to do it. Guys, thank you so much for coming on board. Everybody who's watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Anybody who's watching in the future, thank you again. Make sure to like and subscribe. Like the stream. That's the first thing. So it helps. Click the like button. I hate saying it.
The like button, y'all.
I hate to say it, but yeah.
Join us.
Click
Join
the like.
Discord channel.
Yeah, join us on Discord. But thank you, everybody, for joining on board. We will see you all next time on the ARC stream. Take care and Godspeed.
Bye.